Hi, Tenaya from Hartford, Connecticut here to show you how to make bookmarks. I love making bookmarks. They're great. They're a source of income for me. I give them to friends for holidays. Everybody has their favorite reads and they need to keep track of them. So a bookmark is the perfect gift to show your creative expression and just give yourself a pop of color in the times where you need the most. So let's get into it. I'm going to start by giving you a list of things that you will need for this project. So here I have a piece of paper. You can use any paper. This is watercolor paper, but feel free to use cardstock, computer paper, whatever you have on hand. I think it'll even be cute if you just took a magazine and cut it into the shape that you wanted. Just did some acrylic paint over it. The possibilities are endless, so don't feel pressured if you don't have exactly what you see here. The next thing that is super accessible is just some markers. These are washable markers. I don't think Sharpies would work for the type of effect that we're going to do later, but you feel free to use them. Any color, any way that you can put pigment onto the paper you want to grab. So in this case, we can use washable markers. I also have watercolor paints. Acrylic paint will work fine for you. It's a little bit messier and it takes longer to dry, but it'll be fine. You can use some oil pastels. If I said crayons, that'd be cool. So, just think about what you can use to put color on the paper. I also have some paintbrushes here. Just a few varying shapes and sizes to give me some different textures while I'm painting on the paper. I also have a ruler. You might need it in case you wanted to do some lines or make a straight bookmark. I have some scissors to cut out my bookmark shape. I also have a big paper cutter that I use if you want neater and straighter lines, but it doesn't really matter. You can even do like little rips once you rip the paper, and that'll give it like this cool, antique effect. So let's start. First, we want to start by sketching out a design for our bookmark, and I'm gonna keep it really simple. I think I'm just gonna do like a heart, because all we need is love these days, right? Wash your hands, don't touch your face. And maybe I'll use my ruler to do a straight line. Cool, awesome. I think this is the design that I want to go for. And you can do whatever you want here. And now what I'm going to do is take some pigment, in this case, washable markers, and I'm going to start putting some color onto this paper and giving it some detail and personality, just like you and me have. I'm feeling like some pink, maybe some red here. Color that in. Cool colors. And I just want to show you, when I use the markers, you don't need a lot of color. Realize that I left a lot of white space. And this will give me time when I go in with my paintbrush and blend it with the water. The colors will like kind of spill over and get more translucent and pretty, and then it'll give you a chance to build on some more color, add in a different color with more marker, or going over it with some more paint. But just give yourself room and space to build color and build texture with different layers, and don't go in with too much color. I find that's the key with watercolor. When I first started, I would get really confused and use just too much paint and not get the effect that I was going for. And I realized it just takes a lot of patience, and less is always so much more. So I'm going to go in again with some more color. Feeling like some purple. Purple. I think these lines will look super cool once I start blending them in. And some orange. And I think I want yellow, but I'm going to go in with the yellow after. Cool. So this is what I have so far. Bit of blended colors. It doesn't look like much, but even if this is all you did, it would be beautiful and fine, and you created it with your hands, and I'm so proud of you. Do it as much as you can. But I'm going to go in and take my paintbrush here, and I have a little bit of water, just a little bit of water, and I'm going to go in and blend my heart. And I didn't even take a lot of water, but I feel like that was just too much water. So like I said, less is more. Less is more. Fantastic. Sweet. My heart is done. Look at that. Can you see the change? Next color, gonna rinse off my brush a little bit, wipe off some of that water, and go in, ooh, with the color orange. I just love this effect. You don't even need anything fancy. Just a box of water washable markers. So cool, so bright, so pretty. Here you go. Just a little orange. Next, I'm going to blend the purple and get it nice and thinned out and get those colors distributed onto the page in a way that I like. Whoa. Get rid of those hard lines. Keep blending. Keep moving your brush. You might need more water, but chances are you don't. Nice. Now look at this. Looking good. Now, lastly, I'm going to rinse off my brush. And I wanted it to be careful, so I'm keeping the yellow separately. And I'm just going to go in with the color yellow now and begin to fill that in next to the orange. And I'm going to leave a little bit of space between the two colors before I go ahead with my brush and my water. How's that? So rinsing my brush off once again, wiping it off. Wiping it off and blending. Blending, blending. So glad I left that white space because I'm getting a lot of nice spreading and bleeding of the colors here. And then now that everything's blended, now that everything's filled in, I'm going to start blending a little bit to make it look more soft and natural and get rid of a little bit more of those hard lines. Wow. I'm loving this. I hope yours is going well too. And by no means, take your time. This video is short, but this can be an all-day project. You can do it in an afternoon, whatever you feel like it. You can start it, put it down for another day. No rush. Art takes time. Your art will always be there. Some pieces I thought were finished of mine, and come to find out I'm adding more and taking before it's sold. If it's not sold, maybe it's not done. So I'm just blending a little bit more, and I'm loving the contrast between the orange and the purple. Contrasting colors is some of my favorite things. So by this step, your bookmark's pretty much done. You can begin to cut it into the shape that you want. And I thought a circle would be just so fun because we do have a lot of hard lines right now. Feeling really boxed in. So why not make it round? Add some variety. And your lines don't have to be perfect. Your cuts don't have to be perfect. Nothing is perfect. But it is perfect. So this is fine. This would make the perfect bookmark. Here you go here. You can sign it, put your name. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more detail because I'm extra. So I like this orange color, and I think it'll be great if I took a little bit of red, some red watercolor paint mixed with a little bit of orange maybe on my palette here. And I'm just going to add some little dots and lines and textures to just give it a little bit more pop and some detail and some layers, especially around the edges here. So cool. I love that. So here's my first variation already. And then with this yellow, what color will go on good with yellow?
Pink.
Pink. Oh,
like Starburst.
Like a Starburst pink. Thank you. All right, so let's do a little bit of pink and yellow here. Just do some hard lines, and I want my pink to show up on my yellow, so I'm not gonna use a lot of water in this process. And just little lines and dots and swirls and squiggles, however your brain feels. How about that? And then one more color. I think I'll always need blue. Every artist has to be into the color blue. All right, and I'm just gonna maybe some swirls, some blue swirls. Some blue swirlies, circles. Blue swirls, circles. Wow. And see that? I think I'm gonna take one more step and just add a little bit of detail to my heart so it can pop a little bit more. I love details for my heart. Sweet. And here we go. That is the finished product. And I will be taking a hole punch. And now I have a nice hole here. And this is totally optional. You do not have to do this step. But I'm going to take some string and tie it around my bookmark a couple times. Ooh. Here, maybe I'll just try to do it easy or not. Whoop whoop! Pretty, pretty. Where's my scissors again? Did I lose them that fast? Here they go. And there you have it, folks. Bookmark made with love. Hope you enjoyed.